Welcome back to Full Course Scootering. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Triad Psychic deck. The Triad is a Australian company. I think they've been a company for a couple years or so, and they got an OG rider that rides for them. His name is Billy Watts, and he's got his own signature deck. I think their graphics are pretty cool on the decks, and they got like nice paint that they use and all that. Like, I'll just show you the bottom of this one. It's already ground down, but this is the Psychic deck. They just kind of have like these. It's a lot of like tribal looking like graphics that they have, and I don't know. I think it's kind of cool because they kind of do like full deck graphics, kind of like a skate deck, which is I think is really cool nowadays because companies are starting to finally figure out how to do like full deck graphics on scooter decks, which is super sick because it definitely adds to a way more unique deck, especially if it's like a signature rider's deck. I'm gonna kill myself because of these damn flies. So I'm out here in the woods and I don't have internet, so I didn't really get to look at the specs and all that about this deck. We'll start out at the front and go down to the back here. So, starting off, I can definitely tell that the headset cups are a little tight, just because I still have my bearings in there. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing. The only thing that I'm a little bit worried about is popping the bearings out. I might break the casing on it, so I'll just have to see on that. The head tube itself, or I guess where your forks would go through, is like, it's really fat. Like, it's a huge head tube. Putting my forks through there are the Aztec Circa V2 forks, and they just look like they're like little tiny skinny forks that kind of makes it look like they're like IHC forks. So I mean, I don't really mind how it looks. I do like the big cutout on the front of the deck though. It's definitely gonna cut out a lot of front weight on the scooter and weight in general. And coming down to the neck head tube part of it, I do believe these decks are 84. And they come in a bunch of different sizes. I want to say they come in like 5 or 6 different sizes maybe. This one here, I have the 23 by 5.5. And I think they just came out or revealed that they're going to be coming out with the 22 by 5.5. So if you're not really a big fan of 23, then 22 will definitely work for you. The head tubes themselves are actually like really freaking cool. They kind of remind me of a Fusion head tube, but like a little bit different. They definitely look like they're really strong. They are hollow all the way through, right there, and then through the sides as well. So we'll just have to see if I can break it or not, huh? No, I'm not obviously gonna try and like snap this thing. Like, I'm gonna ride it like how I would usually ride it. So for the front of the deck, I guess the blunt plate, if you want to call it that, this deck actually has a lot of blunt space as well. I would consider it like pretty much the same as like a TSI or something like that, just because the head tube is actually welded to the very front of the deck, which makes it really nice for nose blunts and gives you a lot of room to do that with. And when they weld it to the front of the deck like that, you can you know, most likely ride 120 millimeter wheels and still be able to get into nose blunts. Triad does make wheels that are, I believe they're 28 wide by 115s. So a bit of an odd dimension there. So it came with this cool grip tape here. Kind of reminds me of like a fingerprint or something like that. Foot space, I don't really know. All I know is it's a lot because it's 23. Back up at the front of the head tube, it's definitely super curved on the front. If you're doing like overcooked stalls or anything like that, it does kind of mess with that just because it's cornered, or not cornered, it's rounded a little bit. I've been practicing a lot of overcooked stalls on like coping and stuff like that, and it, for some reason, I pivot a lot because it's rounded like that. I think if it was more square, I would be able to like lock into it easier. Down to the brake, I think this is probably the coolest thing about this scooter. So you got two different spots where you can adjust the brake, and it even tells you which side is 110 and which side is 120. And all you gotta do is just loosen it and slide it into place, tighten it down, and you're good to go to ride whatever size wheel you need to ride. But the cool thing about it is, so yeah, it's obviously like a brake flex fender, like plastic thingy. When you push it, you see where it bends at right there? So you can actually take this brake off and you can just run the bottom part of it and it acts as a fender. Whether you like having a brake or if you hate having a brake, you can choose between what you want. I really like having fenders, but I figured I'd leave it on just to try out the brake system on it. And it's a really fat brake, but it's mostly just like rubber. So the like metal piece itself is only like, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch thick, or wide, I guess. So it's a really cool system. When I got this deck, it was the deck says that you can ride 24 up to 30 millimeter wheels, and I don't know if it was supposed to come with different dropouts on the back, because if you see, the spacers for the wheel are a part of the dropouts. So I'm guessing that you would probably need to swap out dropouts to be able to run different sized wheels or different widths of wheels. So I'm really confused about that. So I can only run 24 at the moment because I don't know where those dropouts went. But one thing that I don't really care for about the dropouts, this is just personal preference, is so you have the side where the bolt goes through, or the axle, and then this side is just nothing. So obviously the axle threads into the dropout. Now that's not like, yeah, that's super cool because it makes it like super simple and like simplistic, but all I'd really want is just another hole on this side, because like when you loosen your wheel and the axle's all the way loosened, like there's no threads for it to grab anymore, it's still kind of stuck in there, so you still have to kind of maneuver the axle out with like an Allen wrench and try to get it out of there. Which I think if there was a hole right here, you could just take like your Allen wrench and push it through and push the axle out and be able to grab it, and then pull the Allen wrench out, and then there you go, you have your wheel off. It'd just be a lot faster. So, I don't know, just drilling a hole out on this side would be kind of a time saver, I guess. Like I said, it's not really a big deal, and it's just like a personal preference, because that's just kind of how I take axles off and wheels off and stuff like that. The bottom of the dropouts, you know, they're not completely rounded, which, I mean, you don't really need that. It kind of has like a nice little platform of like where you would be doing 5/0s at, which is super nice. Because it's cool, because it's kind of like it, because a lot of decks, it'll just be rounded all the way like 90 degrees. And this one, it's only rounded to so much. That way, I think it'll kind of help you like not loop out when you do like 5/0s and stuff like that. And I'm not really sure what kind of metal that they use these dropouts for. They don't really feel like I don't know, whatever kind of like SESs and like forks are made out of. It kind of feels cheaper and kind of softer. But one thing I've noticed is every once in a while I'll be grinding, like I'll be feebling like concrete that's like wax or something like that, or even just like kind of sticky coping or something like that, and the dropout will just screech like metal against metal kind of sound, like that really like nasty like nails on a chalkboard sound. And I've never had a deck or dropouts or anything make that noise before, so I just found that like really odd. Like obviously it's not like a terrible thing, but it's just kind of ear piercing and very odd that a deck or dropouts even do that. And then, you know, you can kind of see like the area that I would be grinding concrete at. I don't know, it's just really weird. Really soft aluminum, I think, is just the reason why. But the bottom of the deck, it's kind of your set in stone kind of traditional grind rails. You kind of have the concave area is a little bit wider than some of other ones that I've seen. So all in all, this deck actually, when I first got it, I don't know if it was the graphic or the paint or whatever that they used to, you know, paint the deck. I didn't even have to put any wax on the deck, and it slid really good. So you don't really have like a break-in process for this deck. Like if you've ridden like TSIs or even like Ethic decks, and you've tried grinding those, like when you first get it, nothing slides. So you kind of have to like break it in and like kind of keep coating it with wax and stuff like that. So this one is it slides really good, pretty much right out of the box, and it kind of reminds me of the NV AOS V5s, the way that it slides out of the box. So if you want one of these decks or any Triad or Oath component products, you can go to the Grove Skate Shop. He does not have a website up yet, so you'll have to either give them a call or go to like their Instagram page. And yeah, if you're in the Southeast Idaho area, go ahead and stop into that shop and check out what he's got. We're definitely building some we're getting a lot of products in over there, so hopefully we can get the growth that we hope to get. But all in all, I really like this deck. It rides really good. I just had to get used to 23 because my last video I was riding the TSI Satellite. It was the 21.5, and moving from a 21.5 to a 23 is a huge jump. So yeah, definitely getting used to the length of the deck and kind of the manual radius and all that. That's it for the review for this scooter deck. We'll go ahead and get some clips, and till next time, we'll see you later.